Next up on my Steam library, I'm playing Satellite Reign. Satellite Reign is a real-time tactics game set in a cyberpunk world. In it, you control four agents. You go about the city, infiltrating various different other areas to steal data, information, schematics, research, prototypes, that kind of thing. If you think that sounds a lot like Syndicate and Syndicate Wars, if you're of a certain age, as I am, and you remember those games from the early and mid 90s, then you would be right, as it is made by the same lead dev as Syndicate Wars. He created this as a spiritual successor to Syndicate Wars. It was a Kickstarter funded game and attracted quite a lot of backing from keen nostalgic fans of those two games. So that's how it came about, and it's very much in the Syndicate Wars vein. So yes, you control four agents. You have a lot of missions and side missions to do in each area of the city. The city is split up into various different areas that are kind of that are gated until you complete certain parts of the story. There are lots of beacons around the city that you unlock where you can travel to and respawn. There are a lot of restricted areas, which is generally where the missions take place. You can walk around most of the city like unmolested, unless you've got your weapons out, which then will draw attention of the law enforcement. But most of the city is free to wander about in. There's not that much to do in those areas, to be honest, but you can walk about in them unrestricted. But the restricted areas are where the action usually takes place and where the missions will usually send you. And once you're in one of those areas, when you get caught in one of those areas, there's going to be some trouble. So your four agents are split into four classes. There's a soldier, a support, a hacker, and an infiltrator. They all have various different skills and can be leveled up different ways. And infiltrating with certain members of your squad is necessary to complete certain missions. Like a certain mission might tell you to get your hacker into a certain building in a restricted area. Another mission might say get your soldier or your infiltrator into the building. But you can send all four of your squad into the actual bit of the building that gets you the mission completion, and it doesn't really matter. As long as you get the one that's got to go in there, then that's fine. Yeah, so each of them can do different things. The hacker obviously hacks. There's various different security boxes and surveillance systems in the restricted areas which can be hacked. The soldier is your main sort of damage dealer, weapons expert. The support is someone who is not bad with weapons and can also dish out some heals. And the infiltrator is like a long-range sniper. Can be pretty deadly when they're set up in a good position. So yeah, it's a real-time tactics game. You've got to kind of plan your attack, plan how you're going to get into these restricted areas, how you're going to avoid the patrols, the surveillance, and get to your mission objective. You don't have to keep all your squad together. You can split them up. You can try and just go in with one person on their own, if that's feasible. Totally up to you to decide how you're going to approach it. Each of your agents can be upgraded and leveled up in various different ways. There's augmentations, there's skills, there's weapons upgrades and different weapons to equip. These are usually found in the form of research prototypes. For some of the missions you will come out of with prototypes. This is kind of an added bonus if you get a character into the right place in a restricted area and then get that character out alive with the prototypes. They will become available for you to research, and after you've researched them they'll be available for you to equip to any of your characters. So your characters are all clones. Dying doesn't really matter. You die, you just respawn at the last relay beacon you were at with a new clone. If you can upgrade your clones by finding members of the public around and one of the hacker can hijack them and send them off to be clones for you. It's quite a nasty thing to do, but the clones you get like this could give you extra health or extra energy and extra speed, and each time one of those clones dies, they degrade slightly. But that's the only penalty to dying. It can get a little frustrating sometimes. In the restricted areas you have to get into, it does sometimes take a good deal of time to get to your mission objective in there, and especially the first time when you don't know the layout, you don't know the patrols, and you can easily get caught and get in a fight, and you think you're doing all right, then all of a sudden a bunch of soldiers from some other nearby area sort of aggro as well, and all of a sudden you find yourself overwhelmed. And I was loading in my last save for a lot of times when this happened, but I realised that that's not really necessary. You can let all 4 of your agents die and just respawn them and go back in, and hopefully now you'll know the layout and the patrols a bit better, and also you'll have accumulated the experience points that you got from your last failed infiltration, so your characters are totally leveling up. So I'd say don't be too much afraid of dying, of getting all your agents killed. If it happens, it happens. Just respawn them and go in and have a look. Don't keep loading in your last save game like I did, because you can't save in the restricted areas. That's the crux of it. You can only save outside the restricted areas. So like I said, sometimes getting through the restricted area could take half an hour, 45 minutes until you get to your mission. But the second and third time you go in, you should be a little bit quicker, because you should know a bit more, have a bit more information about where to go and how to get there quickly. So its asking price is $22.99, which it's probably reasonable. That's not too bad, but it certainly pops up on Steam sales. I don't know about quite often, but I definitely picked it up on a Steam sale. So any time it's on a Steam sale for less than $22.99, that's well worth it. I've played about 10 hours so far, and I'm just sort of getting to the end of the first part of the city, the downtown area. I've just kind of getting to the point where I'm going to unlock the next area of the city. That's after about 10 hours of play. How long to beat clocks it in at around 28 and a half hours, so I've still got a fair bit more to do yet. So for that sort of amount of gameplay, the full price $22.99 is reasonable, but anything less than that is even better. So that's Satellite Rain, pretty nice cyberpunk real-time tactics game, spiritual successor to Syndicate and Syndicate Wars. If you like those, then definitely give it a go.